Today we're driving through the North Pennine Hills into Middleton-in-Teesdale, and you can't help but notice the scenery. Rolling fields, stone walls, and the inevitable streaks of rain decorating the windscreen. Honestly, it's less like a road trip and more like watching the countryside through a frosted bathroom window. But this landscape isn't just pretty, it's actually gritty. For centuries, lead mining was the heartbeat of Teesdale. Families like my Armstrong ancestors were down in the mines in the early 1800s, carving out a living before swapping shovels for ships and heading off to Canada. Tough work, but at least they didn't have to worry about traffic on the A1. Hello, another day.
Yes, and pretty grey and overcast and drizzly, I'm afraid.
Yes, unfortunately.
But we've come to a graveyard. The graveyard at St Mary's in Middleton-in-Teesdale, where Dion's relatives are somewhere buried here, which I think we're going to dig them up and have a little conversation with them, see how they're doing. And behind us you can just see the original archway to the original church.
Yes, I need to look that up because I'm sure...
Which is long gone.
Yes, I'm sure that my relatives were here when this original church were here, my ancestors.
The church itself, at the moment itself, is not even open or in use.
No, it's not open anymore.
Whether it's going to be permanent, we don't know. It's just got no floor in there at the moment, so whether or not they're going to replace it.
So this is St Mary's in Middleton-in-Teesdale.
I did say that.
Okay.
Anyway, we're going to go and have a look at it, see if we can find said Armstrong grave.
Yeah, but they are actually very, very weathered. And my great-great-grandparents, John and Jane Armstrong, left this area, and it's a beautiful area. They left this area in the 1840s with his parents, Margaret Clark and I believe Joseph Armstrong, in the 1840s and went to Canada. They were miners and not really sure, but we think they went to mine in Canada. So anyway, what a view. It does make you wonder, did they miss this place when they left? Because it really is a beautiful place. Absolutely gorgeous. And yes, the original, an original from the original church that was built here. So, and lots and lots of graves, but again, I don't think we're going to be able to read any of them.
There's a lot of Andersons here. Dion!
Oh, you found one. There's the church.
I'll tell you one thing, they're all here.
Oh, they're all here.
They're all here.
How cool is that? I hope they're actually related to me.
1, 2,
I'll have
3.
to go back later and look.
We got Elizabeth and Jonathan, 1855. He was only 27. And the 6 infant children. Wow. Then we got Mark Armstrong, 1862. Margaret.
Oh.
Well, we've got Elizabeth here. We've got another one here. Another Armstrong there.
1824.
This one's 1862. This one is 1855.
Boy, it's really hard to read, isn't it?
That's Elizabeth Armstrong, yeah.
Yeah.
And Margaret Armstrong. I don't know.
Yep.
Elizabeth Armstrong. Mark.
Yep.
Mark Armstrong.
We do have those names in the family, so.
Okay, there's Mark here. Memory of Mark Armstrong, who died May the 22nd, 1862, aged 70, I think.
Yep, 70 or 71.
And of Margaret, wife, who died in 1856.
Age 61.
Yeah, and
also Elizabeth, their granddaughter.
Yeah. So the same sort of names as these, but obviously different people.
The granddaughter of George.
This is a weird one, though.
Armstrong.
To the memory of Elizabeth, the beloved wife of Jonathan Armstrong, who died on the 17th of January 1855, aged 27 years, also of their 6 infant children.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
So yes, there you have it. Some Armstrong plots.
So it looks like you've got 3.
Hello, relative. Sorry I'm stepping on you, but I'm related, so I'm sure you won't mind.
I'm not sure. So that's a Todd. That's a Todd. And that's one. So it's just those 3 then.
Yep.
I've looked at all the others down there. I've done them all.
Okay.
I've done them all. At least you found them anyway.
Yes, that is so cool.
You found the Armstrongs. That's where they are.
At least these are the ones that I'm probably not directly descended from, but they because they all left and went by ship to Canada and never came back. So there you go. And then my grandfather moved to Florida when he was in his 20s. So that's how I ended up in Florida.
So this was in the church that they did their worships in.
Yep.
Perched above Middleton-in-Teesdale, St. Mary the Virgin has been the spiritual heart of the village for centuries. And yes, the first church went up around 1170, so my Armstrong ancestors would have known the original building before it was swapped out for something a bit more fashionable in 1879. Clearly, even churches go through their makeover phase. The Victorian rebuild was designed by Charles Hodgson Fowler, and it arrived complete with pointy Gothic windows. The opening was such a big deal that they even ran a special train service, probably the only time in history a train timetable revolved around hymn singing. Unfortunately, the church is closed, but a local did tell us that they are trying to raise funds so that they can refurbish and reopen the church. If we could have gone inside, we would have found some relics of the medieval past. There's a Norman font base, ancient grave covers, and stonework tucked into the walls, like leftover building blocks nobody wanted to throw away. There's also a separate bell tower, and unfortunately that was also closed, but apparently it still houses bells from as far back as 1557, so when they ring, you're literally hearing echoes from Tudor times. Not bad for a village that probably never expected to be on YouTube. Here we are in Middleton-in-Teesdale. It's a town that was once so busy with miners, smelters, and blacksmiths that you'd be forgiven for thinking it was the Las Vegas of lead. Now, as you know, my ancestors lived here until the 1840s, before they sensibly decided that swinging a pickaxe underground wasn't as glamorous as it looked. So they immigrated to Canada, probably for the fresh air and the bears. These days, Middleton is a much calmer place. Stone cottages, a market square that hasn't seen a traffic jam since a sheep got loose, and plenty of spots for a proper cuppa. It's also the gateway to High Force Waterfall and the rugged Teesdale countryside. Though don't worry, you don't need a miner's helmet anymore, just an umbrella. Middleton might be small, but it's got a big history, and if I bump into someone who looks suspiciously like me, I'll know the family never quite left.
We like our tree roots. So yeah, this is a path that's going to take us down to the falls, the waterfalls. But it's really picturesque. It's very nice. It's also very quiet.
Oh, it's so beautiful here.
This place is it's about 12 miles or so from Barnard Castle, going north in County Durham, or about 4 miles from Middleton-in-Teesdale, whichever you're going to look at. So this is where it is. They do charge $3.95 to come down here, but quite truthful.
Well, you can tell how low the water level is. Look,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no water coming through there.
No, there's no water coming through here at all.
Nope.
Not whatsoever.
Wow, it's so dry.
Yeah, it is. So we've just gone a little bit of a loop. We was over there, and now we're over here. And the river is down there, which we're heading for. Ooh,
It's almost like we're in a rainforest. Absolutely beautiful here.
we can highly recommend anybody in this part of County Durham to come and check this out.
Makes me a little dizzy to look down.
Does it? Oh, I see a bee. Oh, a great big bee.
And I see a bench. Lots of benches. We like that. Oh, listen to the water. Beautiful.
Okay, so let's just take a little walk down here.
Oh my goodness.
I think we're coming to the main falls.
Wow.
Nice and close now. This is High Force Falls. Very impressive. A lot of water coming down there. I have to say, it's probably the best £3.95 I've ever spent. Let's go down and get a closer look if we can.
Well, as you can see, a lot of people are scampering across the rocks. I only scampered over a slight rock. And I think we're just going to sit here now and enjoy the sound of the water, because it's absolutely bloody amazing, absolutely amazing. And you can't swim. There are signs that say do not swim.
And that's High Force, roaring, dramatic, and just a bit splashy. Nature's power at its best, and thankfully, no miners needed. Now it's time for us to hit our next destination and find a cup of tea.
Oh yes. We're in Barnard Castle and he's already spotted 2 charity shops. And I've spotted a bench. So we have arrived in Barnard Castle. Now most British people will know that this place is infamous for the fact that Dominic Cummings, who was one of Boris Johnson's top advisors, came here during COVID. And he was caught driving around because you weren't supposed to be doing that back then. And he said he was testing his eyes. You know, he had months to come up with a much better explanation than that one, but there you go. Now, we've come here today because obviously we've just been to Middleton-in-Teesdale, where my great-great-grandfather lived. Now, his mother, so my great-great-great-grandmother, Margaret Clark, married Joseph Armstrong, and they got married in Middleton-on-Teesdale. Now, somewhere I have a marriage certificate. I haven't dug out my ancestry stuff since about the early 2000s when I became a bit obsessed with it. And then, it just takes so much time. So, and I kind of hit a dead end anyway. So we come here. So again, I can say, well, my great-great-great-grandmother was married here in 1809. But as I said, I can't remember which church it was or where it was. And I think we're so knackered now from walking down to the High Force that we're just going to have a quick little walk around here, probably go get something to eat, maybe something to drink, and then we'll head on back to the campsite. So, yeah, we'll take you around if we find anything really interesting. And that sign says this building was erected 1747 at the expense of Thomas Brakes, Esquire, native of this place. Cool. And then we have a very old building here that's actually for sale.
Well, that's it for our day in Durham. And we had a bit of a walkabout, and of course Chris got to go to 2 charity shops. Woohoo! So you all have a great week, and we'll see you again on the next one.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching.